Hey guys, my name is Iasmina and welcome back to my channel. I make weekly videos all about books, book recommendations, writing and the publishing world, so please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any content. Today's video will be a hopefully spoiler-free review of I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. I have many things to say about this book, so we'll try to keep it spoiler-free and calm, even though I am anything but calm regarding this book. Oh my god. Okay, so I have read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman before, so I already knew I loved her writing style, I love her characters, I love her friendships. Her writing style and mine are shockingly similar. Confession time, I read a sentence in this book that immediately made me realize I have written almost the exact same sentence, word by word, and I don't mean, you know, a normal sentence like he walked up the stairs. Something very voice specific, and the main character, I'll talk about the characters a bit later, but the main character in this book's voice is very similar to my own main character's voice from my YA contemporary, and I had to double check. I went into my manuscript and I had to double check that it wasn't 100% the same, because obviously this book was published recently, whereas mine is still not published, so... But it was just something so specific to the voice of the character, and to the voice of my character, that I was like, oh, okay then. But it's fine, it's like, it's not 100% the same. But the sentiment is exactly the same. So, I mean, that was great, because our writing styles are very similar. Anyway, I was born for this. I love this so much. I gave this 5 out of 5. I would give it 1,000,000 stars. Alice Oseman is now my new favorite YA contemporary author. I love her. I want to be her best friend. Do you ever watch someone on YouTube? She is a YouTuber as well. She makes videos about her books sometimes. And do you ever watch someone like that on YouTube and be like, man, we could be best friends if we knew each other? Anyway, that's how I feel. That's probably a weird thing to say, honestly, because she doesn't know I exist. But, yes. Anyway, this book. What is this book about? Let's start with that. Let's start slow, yes? I can do this. Yes, I can do this. So, this book follows two main characters. We have a switch of point of view every chapter. First character is called Angel, and she is a massive fan of this boy band called The Ark. It is a British rock band, so think something like One Direction. It gave me vibes of One Direction, okay? I've never listened to One Direction, but we'll get into more about fandom culture later. If it's not very obvious by the way I dressed and by the background of my computer, which is the actual background of my computer that I have all the time, and the various paraphernalia? How do you say that? Behind me. I am a fangirl. We'll get to that. We'll get into that. Oh, we'll get into that. So, yes, Angel, and then we follow Jimmy, who is a member of the Ark, a member of this band. And so their lives start to intertwine at some point. So in the beginning of the book, Angel is meeting with her best friend who she's never met in real life. They're best friends online, they've been talking through Tumblr and on Twitter. Right, so they found each other online because of their mutual love of this band, of the Ark, and they've been talking forever, but they never met in real life until at the beginning of this book, when Angel goes to sleep over at her friend's house for a few days, because in a few days they're going to a The Ark concert and also a meet and greet. So they scored tickets to the meet and greet and of course to the concert, and they're over the moon excited to have this week of just loving the Ark and just being together for the first time as friends in real life. And oh my gosh, okay. Angel in the beginning was so relatable, this whole obsession with the Ark and the way the fandom was described. I feel it. It is very familiar, okay? It hit a bit too close to home, I'll just say, because I am part of a fandom like that. I am a BTS ARMY, and so it was so relatable. It was real. It was written really, really well. I'll just say that. So, you know, this book really gets fandom culture and the good and all the good and the bad things about it, because there's definitely not all good. I feel like the BTS ARMY is, for the most part, very, very good. It's one of the best fandoms out there, but there will always be bad eggs, and sometimes the bad eggs get more publicity than all of the good eggs. There's so many of us. There's a lot of good eggs in this fandom. But anyway, so This book kind of discusses a lot about fandom culture and celebrity culture, because of course we get the other point of view of Jimmy, and he is struggling with being thrust into the limelight of this huge success that this band is getting. They're trying to get more popular in America because they've already broken, you know, Europe and of course England, and now they're trying to break out in America. And they're about to sign this really important contract that would mean a lot more work for them, a lot more appearances, interviews, just everything. And he struggles a lot with this. It's too much for him. Both Angel and Jimmy have a bit of anxiety as well. They have panic attacks, and Jimmy is also transgender. So yeah, the book deals with a lot of stuff like that. It is very diverse. It is very well done in all where it discusses diversity and mental health. I think it's done really well. And oh my gosh, okay, the writing in this is so me. I love reading this book. I love the dialogue. I love the jokes. I love everything. It's so... okay, what else should I discuss? I'm obviously not going to spoil the plot for you, but yeah, I'll just say that Angel and Jimmy's paths meet eventually in the book, but I'm not going to say how or why or anything else that happens, but I'll just say that, oh my gosh, if you like YA contemporary, read Alice Oseman first of all, if you've never read her books, and this one right now is my favorite, just because it was so familiar. It was so familiar, it was so endearing to me to read about Angel and all the things that she goes through and all her realizations and the ups and the downs, and it is very much focused on friendship and accepting of others and accepting of their strange obsessions and strange hobbies. To some, of course, some people consider that strange, but it just discusses all of these topics so freely and so unapologetically, and as someone who is a part of a fandom like this, as someone who understands this culture, it is so refreshing to see it written about this way. I can like literally write a manifesto on all of this, because a lot of the time fandoms like this are treated unkindly. I'll just say that. They're treated unkindly, they're treated for the minority instead of the majority, and honestly, most of, at least the fandom now a part of, is incredible, and we've done some incredible stuff. But it's always the occasional bad things that is always talked about, instead of all of the good things that the fandom and the boys have done, okay? That's another thing. Angel keeps referring to them as the boys, our boys, and yeah, again, very familiar to me, very relatable. So I think I've rambled on enough without going into spoilers. I think if I would go on, I would definitely get into some spoilers, and I don't want that. I want you guys to pick this book up and just enjoy it for what it's worth, because it is a journey, and you'll laugh and you'll cry and you'll question things, and especially if you're in any kind of fandom of BTS or of another K-pop group or of anything like that, I think you will love this. And like I said, it does hit a bit too close to home in some regards, but it's just, you will understand instantly, you will get Angel instantly, and it's great. I forgot to mention, Angel is Muslim as well, so we get to see how she handles her religion, and also how she handles her religion in sort of relation to everything else going on in her life, and I thought that was super interesting to read about as well. I don't think I've ever read about a Muslim character, at least not in YA contemporary, so that was very new for me, and I loved it. I think it was done well. Of course, I don't know the intricacies of the religion, of the culture, but from what I can tell, I think it was done in a respectful way. So just keep that in mind as well. Yeah, it's just a very beautifully diverse book in so many ways, and I love it so much. I almost want to reread it again. I just finished it and I want to reread it. Like, ugh. It's a very good ugh. Of course, I will leave a link to this book in the description if you want to go pick yourself up a copy. But yeah, I think that is everything for my review of I Was Born for This. If you guys have read this book, or if you've read Alice Oseman before, please comment down below, especially if you've read this book, because I really want to talk about this book with someone. I don't know anyone who has read it, and I kind of feel like I just need to talk to someone about it. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time with a new video. Bye! I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts, but of course you can't see it. And again, it is very related to everything we've discussed today in this video. I try to keep all of this a bit in the background because I don't want to be sort of in your face about my obsessions and about my things, especially when it's something that, you know, it's not like for everyone, and I get that, and that's fine. But I always love it when people comment about my backgrounds and things like that, or my various t-shirts that they recognize of what it references. So that's fun. But I just realized you probably couldn't tell what this is, but it's an August t-shirt. So, okay, I should probably go and, yes, okay, see ya.